Okay, so today's video is going to be a foundation declutter. I have set up all of my foundation in the new bedroom in our new condo. I will link videos on that down below in case you're interested in seeing what our space looks like, although I haven't done a makeup collection yet. So anyway, the point of this is that I put everything up and there's too much. I don't like how much foundation I've got. It's kind of like double layered and it's very difficult to see. So I'm going to be decluttering some of this today. Alright, so here's where we're at with my foundation. Now, foundation is something that I visibly seem to have a lot of, and yet for a blogger, I think I've actually have a quite restricted collection. Some bloggers have like 40, 50 plus. But for me, foundation is something that I am just not in love with. I like wearing it occasionally, but it's not something that I feel is totally necessary for my day-to-day life. So with that in mind, I've just got too many of them. And I want to cut this down because it just looks cluttered and I don't need it. And I'm also very aware of the fact that I have too many foundations that are too dark for me. And based on the fact that I didn't get nearly as much sun this past summer as I have done in previous years means that I'm not using a lot of these foundations and there's no reason for me to have it. So let's dive right in. Alright, let's start off with the foundations that I know I'm going to be keeping, and that is the Bourjois Healthy Mix Serum Foundation. I am in love with these, as you can tell by the fact that I have 3 shades. 2 of these are the shade 52 Vanilla, and one is almost done. I think it's this one because it's quite light. And then I have another shade that is 51 Light Vanilla. So these ones are definitely being kept. 2 other ones that I really love are these Boots No. 7 Instant Radiance Foundation. You cannot get these in Canada or the US. I know Target does sell Boots products, however this specific foundation cannot be purchased in North America. I can only ever get it when I'm overseas. And just like with the Bourjois, these are in my top products. I think these are some of the best foundations on the market. These are a touch too dark for me right now, but the difference is so minute that I want to keep these should I happen to pick up any more color. So these are a definite keep. One that is completely new to me this year is the Lancome Teint Idole Ultra 24-Hour Foundation. This is a pretty good shade match for me. It is 100 Ivory Neutral. It's lovely. I have a rave review on this foundation. I think it's absolutely incredible and I am definitely keeping this one. One that is fairly new to me is this Estee Lauder Double Wear Nude Fresh Water Fresh Makeup. I just reviewed this. I really liked it. My face didn't look any different like 9 hours later after I'd been through an entire workday. I think this stuff is really incredible. The only issue is that there is no pump top, which just kind of annoys me to no end. But this one is a definite keep. Another absolute winner is this Dermablend Professional Foundation. This is their Smooth Liquid Camo, and this is so good. It is very full coverage. It can cover a lot of like problems on your skin. I wear this if I want to look super flawless, so this one is definitely being kept. Alongside with this Wet n Wild Photofocus foundation. This is really good and really inexpensive. This is such a great shade match for me too. It's the shade Shell Ivory, which makes me smile because although it's spelled like seashell, my name is Shell, so you know, that kind of works out for me. So I'm definitely keeping this one. One that I'm going to be keeping even though it is a little bit too dark for me right now, but I am hoping that this will match me after my recent vacation to Australia and Bali. This is the Estee Lauder Double Wear Light Foundation, and it is in the shade Intensity 2.0. This is too dark for me, and I do want to pick up the shade lighter than this, but as you can see, I have too much foundation right now, so I really can't justify buying a new foundation. However, I'm going to keep this one because I think the Estee Lauder Double Wear Light is beautiful. It is so nice on the skin, and I can't always mix it with a lighter foundation to get this to match. Alright, now I'm going to dive into some products that I'm definitely not keeping. This one is really sad to me. This is the Maybelline Dream Velvet Foundation. I have the shade 10 Porcelain Ivory. I loved this when it first came out. I have a rave review on it. It was probably about 2 years ago. I can link that down below. It's a blog post. I thought this was incredible. However, I used this past week, and while the color match is still quite good, it behaved totally differently than it had in the past. It was sticking in my pores, it looked patchy, and I don't know if maybe the tube has just gone off, but I didn't like it, and I was like, there's no way I'm gonna be using this again. So I'm getting rid of this one for sure. Another one I'm getting rid of, oh, also by Maybelline. That's unfortunate. This one was gifted to me by Samantha, who just had no use for this shade. This is the Dream Cushion Foundation. I haven't actually tried it because the shade is just way too dark for me. This is number 20, and I'm never gonna be this shade. It's never gonna work out for me. I've never gotten this dark in years, so there's no point for me to keep it, so I'm just getting rid of it. That being said, Samantha does really, really like this foundation, so I will link to her video review down below, because if you're interested in checking it out, you should go look at that video. Alright, so another foundation I'm going to be getting rid of is this Estee Lauder Double Wear Nude foundation. It does have like a pull-off top with a sponge where you kind of like twist the base, the product comes up the top, and then you can use the sponge applicator to apply it. It is a neat product. I think it's kind of cool, and I think it worked out for me okay. I remember doing a video review maybe a year back and I liked it. However, it was too dark at the time, and I even mentioned that in the review, and it is still too dark for me. So I haven't worn this, I think, since I did that review. Maybe I wore it a few times since then, but I don't really remember. So I'm gonna let go of it. There's no point in me keeping a shade this dark. This is the shade 3N1 Ivory Beige, and this is too deep, way too deep for me. All right, so I have two of these foundations. These are the Boots No. 7 Stay Perfect Foundation. I do believe you can buy this one in the US. I have two different shades. One is too dark. I was matched to this about 2 years ago while on vacation after I'd gotten a lot of sun, and I've just never managed to attain this kind of deep shade again. For reference, this is called Deeply Ivory. I do really, really like this foundation, but I'm never gonna be this shade again, so there's no point in me keeping it. I am gonna, however, keep this one. This is the shade Calico, and I believe it is their lightest color, so this will match me at some point, possibly during the winter, so I'm gonna keep that color. This foundation I am definitely keeping. This is by Inglot. It's brand new to me this year and I love it so much. This is their HD Perfect Cover-Up Foundation. It's in the shade 71. They do actually have lighter shades. I misquoted myself, I think, when I first reviewed this. They do have paler shades, although this is one of the lighter ones. Love this foundation to pieces. This is definitely a staple in my collection. Alright, two foundations here by QUO. These are the Matte Revolution foundation. It's funny, I remember reviewing them. I think I remember quite liking them, but for whatever reason, I haven't used them recently. I do, however, have one shade here that is too dark, so I'm not going to keep that one. That's this shade. This is number 2. This is shade number 1. So I'm going to get rid of shade number 2. Shade number 1, I'm going to hold on to and use it in the next few weeks or months and see how I like it. I had originally thought that I was going to get rid of both of these foundations because I haven't reached for them, but I have liked it in the past, so maybe there's no reason to get rid of it. So I'm going to keep this one and then see how it wears. Two foundations here by Revlon. I was recently gifted these at a Revlon event. I have gone through a lot of bottles of Revlon's Colorstay foundation. I think it is one of the absolute best foundations at the drugstore. I just haven't owned any in a while because I clearly have plenty of foundation. So I've gone through maybe 5 bottles of these, and I'm definitely keeping these. They're brand new. I haven't even opened or tried them yet, but I'm excited about this new pump top. No, see, it's still got a sticker on it. These have a pump top now, which is so, so nice. So these are definite keepers. Oh, and for reference, I have the shade 150 Buff, and this is 200 Nude, and I have worn both of these. This one tends to be more of a summer color for me. This one is the dead of winter, and if I'm in between, I just mix the two. All right, this foundation I am specifically keeping for when I fake tan because it turns into a perfect color match with my tan skin. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Magic Foundation. It's in the shade 4.5, which never matches me unless I fake tan, but it is a good match for when I apply that fake tanner, so I'm going to be keeping it for that reason. I do really like the coverage. I think it wears very well, so this one is being kept. Alright, one here by Illamasqua. I've had this for quite a while, and I do like the finish of it. However, it's in too deep of a shade, and it never really works out unless I mix it with something to bring down the tone. This is the shade 6.5. It's their skin-based foundation. And this doesn't seem to actually mix very well with other foundations, and I don't have another Illamasqua foundation to mix it with. So I think I'm gonna let this one go. I've actually probably used It feels like I've used 80% of this bottle. You can never see. It never seems to move down enough down the tube to notice it. But I'm gonna let this one go because I just haven't reached for it enough over the years. The deepness in tone and the fact that it doesn't combine well with other foundations just makes this too much hassle for me. And the last foundation I have here is by Art Deco. This is their nude foundation. I have the shade 70. Really like this one. It's a good color match more in the dead of winter for me, but I have really liked this in the past and I'm definitely keeping this one. Alright, so in total I'm going to be getting rid of 6 foundations and I'm going to be keeping 17. Not a huge declutter, but I'm pretty happy with that. I just wanted to really get out the products that I'm not using and that I will never use with any like reliability in the near future. So I'm happy to get these out of my collection. Okay, so here's what it looks like after all the decluttering. It's obviously still a little bit packed. I did only take out 6 foundations. It's not like I removed half my collection. There's a little bit of double stacking, but I'm okay with that. Mostly in areas where either a foundation is too dark for me right now, which is over there, or it's too light for me right now, which is on this side. It kind of just goes from lightest to right now-ish to too deep. So that's going to be it for my foundation declutter video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will talk to you next time. Bye!